Welcome to the pool garden. This is a garden that was built in an old pool. Originally this pool was used for fish farming. I tried that out, but the sides of the pond were too steep, and so things kept dying in the pool. We had a lizard die in there, mice die, and then one day a rabbit and a coyote died in it in the same day, and then my cat died, and after that was it. We filled it in. We've been filling it in with Terra de Encino, which is composted oak leaves, and it's turned into a really, really great garden. It's very productive. There's some things that make this garden very different than any of the other gardens that we have. Normally here, I have to explain to people why we don't irrigate, and we only really work with the natural rain cycle to grow food. But in this garden, there's some different attributes. One is it's enclosed, so the humidity stays in there a little bit better. Also, there's a spot up here where we can dump urine, and then that urine goes through a pipe all the way down below the main bulk of the roots. So the urine all becomes moisture trapped down there, and it can only get out through the roots or by working its way up very slowly. That urine is very nitrogen rich, and there's a whole composting process going on down there that is processing it. A lot of people say that you can't water directly with urine, and I've suspected for a long time that that's false. They say it burns the roots and all these things. But we're not doing that. We're not watering it on top, and so there's no smell issue. and then there's a composting process naturally down below, so we don't have to waste any water. A lot of people say you have to mix 9-to-1 of water to urine, and I just don't want to do it. I don't want to irrigate that way. But the result here is that we've got this amazing amount of growth. Over here we have peppers. There's a corn in there. That's pointless to have corn in there, but it's interesting. We've got a great salad greens garden in here, and then we've got some squash, probably a waste of space as well. And then the most important is all of these tomatoes. All of these tomatoes in here, it's pretty exciting because tomatoes are particularly hard to grow in this climate. It's usually either too dry, because they're a very thirsty plant, they like a lot of water, or it's so wet that the tomatoes rot on the vine. So this is an immense success. I've tried for years to grow tomatoes, and for the first time we're getting really great success. Our first success was with the Oaxaca tomatoes, and now we've got 4 or 5 other varieties of tomatoes planted, and then we'll be collecting the seeds off of those and planting more. This really makes me happy, this garden, because a lot of people come here in the off season when it's not the rainy season, and they expect to see gardens just full of produce, like a traditional irrigated garden, and I don't have that. So they think for some reason that we're not growing anything, even though the entire forest is filling up with food at this point, poco poco. Anyway, I'm happy to have it so that people can see what they expect, and they won't bug me about stuff. The next step with this will be to mimic these conditions in other locations, hopefully without using any concrete. So we'll just be using cob and dig holes to fill with really rich dirt, probably fertilizer from the composting toilets, fertilizer from the rabbit and chicken coop, all very rich stuff. And then we'll be able to mimic this and grow even more food with absolute minimum of resources.